Hello Scapers, my name is Kaitios and welcome to the Fox Den. Before we get into the video, just make sure to give this video a like and also to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my future content. So you guys read the title. We are going to be doing a OSRS free-to-play skills tier list, and this is going to be focused on primarily Ironman of all kinds. So it could be a Grey Helm, a Hardcore, or an Ultimate Ironman. Now I am also going to describe different reasons for Hardcore Ironman as well, because that's the one that I typically play. But in general, it should be about the same for any sort of free-to-play Ironman type. So with that, I guess we'll just get started with the first skill, attack. And before I forget, so I might end up changing some things as I go along, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So obviously you guys can see we have S, A, B, C, and D tiers here. S is going to be the top and D is the worst. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to rank each of these skills, not necessarily how hard or how easy they are to train, but I think my primary ranking is going to be how useful they are as a free-to-play Ironman. So without further ado, we'll start with attack here. Now attack, it's one of the 3 melee skills, the others being strength and defense. And it is useful in order to, have accurate hits against your enemies. It isn't necessarily as good as ranged, because range you can safe spot and not take any damage. And same thing with magic combat too. But it's okay. I think I'm gonna put it in B tier for now. It's straightforward. You do need to kill a bunch of things in your training anyways for drops. If you're doing body golems, you can get cores, hill giants, you can get limp words and keys and stuff. But not bad. Oh, and another thing too, before I forget, is I'm also going to be ranking skills from left to right. So if there's multiple skills in the B tier, right now attack is the best out of these other 3. Or if I move this over, it'll be crafting is better than attack, attack's better than cooking, and so on. So anyways, firemaking, we'll go to firemaking next. And that's in the trash tier. That's down in D. In free-to-play, there's absolutely no use for it. Sure, you can burn logs, the fires last longer, but cooking, like, you just cook on a range anyway, or at the barbarian village using that fire. So there really isn't any use at all, so that's in the D tier. Moving along to fishing. It could be useful if you need some higher tier food like lobsters, tuna, and swordfish. But at the same time, as a free-to-play Ironman, you can buy kebabs, which are really good for healing as it is, and you don't really need to cook them. But I guess, especially for hardcores, you need higher tier foods if you go into the wilderness at any point. So I think I'd probably put fishing in the A tier. Yeah, we'll go with that. Crafting. Ooh. So crafting is important in the free-to-play game as well. Most notably for a Amulet of Power, Amulet of Strength, and Amulet of Magic. Those are the best in-slot necklaces for ranging, melees, and magic if you were to combat train with magic. It's definitely better than fishing in my opinion. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, crafting. I believe it's 40 crafting to get into the crafting guild, which is nice, because then you can do silver ore and do runecrafting trips there. So it is really good to train a couple other skills. So I'll put that as a high A for now. I might change this later. I'm not sure. Hit points. Again, pretty important. It's more important to hardcore Ironman. If this was just a hardcore Ironman free-to-play list, I'd probably put it in the S tier or high A somewhere. But since this is just in general, I'll probably put this in the B tier as well. Obviously you want to have as high HP level as you can so you don't die as often to creatures, or PKers too if you do encounter those. But I think B tier is solid for now. Magic, this one's going to be an automatic S tier. And I know in the members game as well, magic is such a really useful skill. You have high level alchemy that you can cast on your rune items that you get from ogresses. You have superheat to superheat your iron ore, which is a really great use of your nature runes. You have your combat spells. You have cursing spells if you wanted to passively gain levels with cursing. Just magic is so useful. Oh, and of course, teleports. So easy way to move around the map. Varrock, Lumbridge, Falodor teleports are great. Yeah, magic is a given S tier. Now we're gonna go into mining. Mining is good. You need a high mining level to mine Runite at some point, if you were to do that. And it's also good to do silver ore if you wanted to mine silver ore for crafting, or if you wanted to mine iron ore for smithing. Mining, I think I'll put as a high B. I think it beats attack. You do need a high mining level to train other skills, like runecrafting as well, if you were to mine essence. I think I'll put that as a high B. Prayer, Prayer, I think I'll put... It's either going to be high A or S tier. I think... Okay, so prayer, I'm going to put as a high A. Again, it's like HP. It's more useful for Ironman, but prayer is great. You need your protection prayers, your protection from melee, protection from range, protection from magic is really good if you're fighting Obor or Bryophyta or any of the bosses. That way they can't damage you as often or hit you as hard. And, that's really good if you're trying to get a rune kite or two-hander or a plate skirt drop from Obor. But super useful. Again, if you're ever in a PK situation, you can throw your protection prayers on. Or even if you're doing ogresses or high-level combats, like ogresses or golems, you could pray. But yeah, prayer is a pretty useful skill. Really hard to train, but super useful if you can get those unlocked. Ranging. So ranging, I'm gonna put as an S tier skill. I think magic beats it out just because of the versatility of magic, but range is amazing. You're going to want to train this early on in your free-to-play journey, but just having the ability to safe spot high-level creatures like ogresses it's just so useful. You don't take any damage besides maybe initial aggro. It gives you a safe way to get some GP, some ruby drops, really wherever you need. It's good for moss giants if you're farming moss giant keys, or if you wanted to farm hill giants, you can do that. But yeah, just having the ability to save spot, it's just incredible. And honestly, this is the first 99 that I got, just so it makes training your other skills easier because you just have access to all these really nifty drops. Moving on to runecrafting, I'll probably put this one... I'm going to put this in the C tier. Really, as a free-to-play Ironman, you can just buy all of your runes from the shop, from Aubrey anyways. So there really isn't a point to making and using your own runes. But again, I guess like if you're strapped for cash, you can always make your own airs or elemental runes or what have you. But I mean, it is better than Firemaking, so I'm not going to put it in D. So I'll put that in C tier. Smithing, it's kind of useful, kind of not. I mean, you're really only going to want to use smithing for rune items if you didn't necessarily get them as drops from Obor. Really, the only notable thing is the rune scimitar at level 90, I believe, which is a good thing. So, rune simi is the best in slot weapon. Close behind it, number 2 is a Baronite mace. So I'll probably put smithing in the B tier somewhere. It's better than HP, I believe. Yeah, that looks about good. I'll leave that in the B tier. Strength is, so strength, the higher your strength level is, the higher damage you do for melee. It's not too bad. I'll probably put it, you know what, I'm going to make an addendum. I'm actually going to move Runecrafting here. I'm going to move attack to the higher level of C, and I'll probably put strength just above attack. It is good if you needed to do, like, if you're grinding bone fragments or if you're grinding hill giants or whatever, you know, higher damage is always good to have. Woodcutting. So woodcutting I'll probably put in C tier as well, and it's going to be just above runecrafting. So really the only use for woodcutting in free-to-play is for canoes. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I'll probably move this into B tier. Yeah, I'm going to put this in B tier, just above HP. The canoe transport system is really, really good, especially if you're an Ultimate Ironman. You have access to Varrock Southwest, which is a hotspot for iron and silver mining. You have access to Edgeville, which has a furnace in close proximity to a bank, which is nice. And then you also can take it to Lumbridge or what's it? Clan Ferox, I think that's what it's called. So yeah, that's probably the only use. Besides that, you can't really use the logs for fletching because that's a member skill, and really the only use you would have for logs is to burn them for cooking. But at the same time, again, you have options of using ranges for cooking or the never-ending barbarian village fire. So I think that's a good spot. Cooking. Cooking's okay. Once you reach a certain threshold, you stop burning all of your food anyways. So I'm probably going to lump this in the C tier, probably above runecrafting. I think that's about right. And then defense. So defense, I'm actually going to put defense higher up above strength and attack, definitely. I don't think it deserves a C tier rating, but I think it, at the very least, it deserves a B tier. I think I'm going to inch it out above HP. So defense, super, super critical for hardcore Ironman in particular. But I will say, though, if you are an Ultimate Ironman or a Grey Helm, and you do suicide methods like for runecrafting or what have you, you are going to want to keep this on the lower end so it's quicker to kill yourself. But yeah, I think in general it's good to have a pretty moderate to high level defense just so you don't risk dying to any creature in the game. So that's what I have for you guys. This is my tier list for all the free-to-play skills. And I'm just trying to think if I want to swap anything around. I think it looks good for the most part. Magic, range, definitely S tier. Firemaking is definitely D tier. Prayer, crafting are A's. Fishing I could put in B. But all these look pretty good as well. You know what? I think I am going to put smithing over mining. I think it just nudges mining out just a tad. But yeah, I think the rest look good. So guys, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Did I miss something? Should a skill go in a different spot? I want to know. So put that down in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you completely disagree? I'd be curious to see what you guys think. But again, that's the tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a little bit of a different kind of video, but I liked making it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Again, give the video a like and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys. Bye.